I think this is deep.
Welcome to the Empower Hour. We bring power to the people because the people have the power. This squad's going to entertain, enlighten, and empower y'all. I'm Queen Kaya, joined by Pharaoh Hammond Freeman and Gina the Great. But before we do anything else, like always, we're going to bless this show and our kings and queens listening.
Blessed melanated rising, my people. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful. I'm grateful to life. I'm grateful to God, our creator, and I'm grateful to our ancestors for making it possible for us to be able to be on air. And I just ask that the words that are shared today, let it be very educational. Let it be very uplifting. Let it be entertaining. Most importantly, let it be empowering for every one of our listeners. And I'm sending out that spirit of love, light, unity, strength, peace, great health, wealth, and all that good stuff, guys. Ashe, 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 ashe. So, it's me. This morning, I am actually kicking off our show on our own. Now, I say on our own, but you guys know me. I'm never by myself. So I'm here with the non-physical entities that are on the show with me. So I'm here just guided by the spirit. But no, honestly, huge shout out to Queen Kaya. It was her birthday. She wasn't able to join us this week, but mad love to her. And Gina did mention she would be away for a couple of weeks. So Gina, I hope you're having a good time wherever you are. Be safe. And but we normally ask, what was the week like this week? So first off, people, there's a lot of cool developments, and I first want to just acknowledge and shout out the team, the OFC, the Empower Hour. There's a lot of work being done behind the scenes just to be able to continue to provide just the members with that support and visibility, and as well as you all in terms of just our listeners. Well, a lot of you guys are members as well, but just to ensure that we're offering you quality product, services, and just quality experiences. So there's a lot of things that we've been working on. So you guys have heard me mention it. One of the most exciting things I think we have going right now is the OFC Lotto Copac. So let's, I just want to take out my notes here. So Jackie Steven was our first winner. And so first I have to give him a huge shout out. So Jackie, big shout out to you for being the first winner of the OFC Lotto Copac. So he won $1,000, guys. $1,000. I don't know why is it we whisper when we're talking about $1,000. No. So he won $1,000 to spend within the community. So congratulations. If you guys have not registered yet, you definitely want to register to take part on both sides. Businesses, we need you to register as well, because as you register, these entrepreneurs know where they could go and spend their money. And then as an individual, obviously you have the opportunity to win. So it's $500 every week that's being drawn for individuals to take part. Obviously you have to be a registered member of the OFC. Your membership is $150 for the year as a member of the OFC, and that encompasses your entire family. And then it's $24 per adult to take part in the Lotto Copac. So this is what it is. And then for entrepreneurs, it's $200 for the year, and then it's $100 to take part in the Lotto Copac. Guys, that is peanuts. I almost want to tell you guys right now. Actually, yes, I'm going to just because I can and I have time. So if we say every week for you as an entrepreneur to get the visibility that's offered by the OFC, and to be able to have members of the community spend money with you, it's costing you $5.76 a week. I'm a part of some networking groups that they pay roughly $1,200-$1,300 a year to be a part of their collectives, which is huge. You get a lot of support and a lot of visibility, but I have to say the OFC, we're doing a lot and we're asking so little. So anyway, so that was just a huge plus for us this past week. So being able to have this draw and being able to put this money out into the community, guys, it really is, it's exciting. It's exciting to be able to see the impact it's having. And I just want to remind you guys every week what this means. It really does mean that now there's money circulating within the community. The whole vision is to be able to empower economically, economically empower our community, encourage more people to create businesses, support our entrepreneurs, and even as individuals, like we love to support our businesses, but sometimes, especially with the cost of gas these days, we might not have the extra means. So now with this initiative that we've launched, we now have a bit of means. Every week money's going to be spent in our community. So hotep, amen, and ashe to that. Other cool things that's been happening. So for those who are watching us on camera, I'm pretty sure you could see, if you zoom in closely, you probably see sawdust still in my hair. I came straight from the OFC Holistic Healing Retreat, came right on to the radio. So we've been doing all kind of awesome things there, clearing the land, preparing it for camping. Guys, mark your calendars. July 9th, we are having our Family Day Summer Jam at the cottage. It is going to be exceptional. It is going to be exceptional. So, what to expect? All right. So, note it right now. This is going to be exciting for everybody. Grab your paper, grab your pens. So July 9th, it's a 3 p.m. to 3 a.m. type of thing. So yeah, it is going all day, all night. We're starting off in the daytime where we're going to have a bunch of different activities and different things going on. So, because obviously you guys know it's a family day. So, we're going to have like games, we're going to have barbecues. We have DJ Blaster who's coming to play in the daytime for us. We also have a collaboration with Kaya Pesh. So big shout out to our brother Terry. So he's going to be bringing some youth out fishing. So for those who want to take part in that, please, you're going to have to contact us and register because we have to prep you for the fishing activities and stuff like that. So we're going to have a bunch of different games. We're going to have, like I said, barbecues and different things going on in the daytime. And then we're going to transition, and because it's going on all day. So now we have at nighttime, we have a bonfire. We have stargazing. We're gonna have fireworks. We're gonna have more music. We're gonna have performances. We're gonna have we have performances in the day too. I forgot about that part. We have performances in the daytime. We have DJ Serious Savage that's going to be playing at night. We have West Can that's going to be performing. We have MCD Solo performing. We have Natasha T. Marie. I'm so excited. Natasha Marie, guys, this is going to be, so like I said, and we're going to have a bunch of other performers and stuff like that as well. But again, the idea, we want the families to come out and have a good time. Those who stay with us overnight, who do camp. All right. So for those who are campers, you're welcome to come and stay overnight. You just need to register, give us the heads up, let us know you're coming to camp overnight, because the next morning you will get breakfast on us. Bienvenue, and you're welcome. So guys, so this is going to be awesome, and it's a fundraiser, so it's $20 per person or $50 per car, and just come on out, help to support the cause. We're raising funds for the OFC Holistic Healing Retreat and Campground. For those who just want to come and see what the grounds look like, it's your opportunity to come and check it out. We're about an hour and a bit outside of the city. July 9th, mark your calendar, save the date, get in contact with the OFC for more information. 514-651-4545. Again, give you guys a second. 514-651-4545. All right, so definitely check us out. If you haven't already, some key things I just want to remind you guys of. I know I remind you every week. My apologies, but if I don't say it, my bosses get mad. So just a reminder, if you could go on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page, our YouTube channel for the Empower Hour. We've been putting out a lot of content of all the little video clips from our meetings, from our shows. You're going to be seeing them up on there, so that's been really awesome. So definitely subscribe to there and follow us on our Instagram, on the Empower Hour Instagram. Well, and support all the other platforms we have as well. We have the OFC community website. OFClink.com is the directory. Anything you need in the city, go to OFClink.com and you'll be able to find it there. If you don't see your own business listed there, get in contact with us. It's going to be our pleasure to have you on. Other quick things now. I just want to, I know we're going through a lot as a community. So that was, I started off with just, some, call it my, housekeeping, letting you guys know what's going on and what's new and exciting. But this is just the word I would just like to share with you guys, because I know there's a lot. We're going through a lot as a people. There's a lot of ups and there's a lot of downs. But I do feel there's more ups if we continue to keep our head up, right? Life is always going to continue to challenge us, and we want it to. Believe it or not, again, we come to the planet for these challenges because they help us to evolve as a being, right? As an entity. Like, you're way more than just a physical entity that you see in the mirror. There's two sides of you. Technically there's three, but we won't super deep dive right now. But I just want to encourage you guys. Life has blessed us with this platform and given us this opportunity where we have a voice and we could share. And I like to use this opportunity to encourage you all, because I know it's not always easy. But when the life challenges come, if it's all about perception, it's all about how you see things. And I watched this cool interview just recently, where Will Smith was on with David Letterman, and he was talking about just the challenges that he's gone through as an individual, and how it has enabled him to grow, and he's even at a point now where he's come to accept, like, he could lose everything and still have the same peace of mind. Funny enough, actually, because this interview was done before the infamous slap. But anyways, I'm gonna digress on that. The whole point of what I'm saying is just that we need to get to a point where we have such an understanding of ourselves and of life, is that so that when obstacles come, because they will come, that we're able to take a step back and observe the obstacle and study it. Watch it from a perspective different than as if you don't look at it as if we're going through it. Look at it from like you're the observer of it, and ask yourself what you're to learn from this experience. What is it life is trying to show you? What is it you need to understand from this? And just by asking the question, I could guarantee you that your spirit will give you the answer, because you're taking the time to acknowledge that there's something happening beyond. But a lot of times what happens is that we're so close to the experience that we don't let ourselves take a step back and assess or acknowledge what's actually happening. We're really in it. So my encouragement to you all is, as we're going through things, take a step back, assess it. Don't react from circumstances. Understand that every circumstance that is coming towards you is to help you to evolve as an entity, to become more. And at the very, very, very base, at the root, we're one. You're one with the planet. The planet wants you to succeed. Your spirit wants you to succeed. Life as a whole, God the creator, is here for your success. So literally, when things aren't going in your favor, look at it as okay, it's not going in my favor because there's more to this. There's something else I'm to get from this. There's a lesson I'm supposed to learn from this. There's something to come from this experience. But don't take it as this is it. Woe is me. My life sucks, because that's not your reality. And I could tell you, anytime you tell yourself something like, oh, my life sucks, I could guarantee you it feels terrible inside, because that's your inner being guiding you and telling you, don't think like that. Don't say things like that, because as you speak it, it's like you're putting out an intention, and you do not want to put a negative intention out on yourself. So you do not want to say stuff like, my life sucks, because that is an intention. You want to look at what's happening. You want to say, yo, this is a blessed circumstance. Get to a point where you become almost crazy with it, where every negative circumstance you're able to be optimistic and you're able to see the glass half full, where even people around you are like, yo, how come you're always so positive? Be that person. Be that person for yourself. Be that person for your family. Be that person for your loved ones. Be the example that the world wants to see and needs to see right now, guys. As we all evolve and we all wake up and remember who we are, remember our divinity, remember our awesomeness, remember our unity, our connection to the planet and our connection to each other, it's going to just feel so much better. We're going to be able to evolve, and we're going to be in peace, and we're going to have we're going to continue to enjoy this life experience even more than we're enjoying it right now. All right, guys. So with that, prepare yourself for this evolution. Get ready for the next steps, because this is still just very much the beginning. Enjoy the weather, enjoy the sun, charge your energy as much as you can. And if you have any questions about anything on a spiritual aspect, please do not hesitate to reach out. It's always my pleasure to be an outlet and to be a support to the brothers and sisters in the community. We have big shout out again to Andrea Cox for this exceptional interview. So myself and Queen Kai, we had an opportunity to deep dive with her. So you guys sit back, enjoy this interview. The information that she shared here, that's all I could say. But guys, and you're going to want to look out for her book. Right now it's on special. We're getting 25% off of Amazon. We're going to discuss it in the interview as well. But I'm giving you guys a quick pre. So just be ready. Check it out on Amazon. Final Departure by Andrea Cox. You want to take advantage because as of this coming Sunday, it is no longer going to be on special. Right now, you can get 25% off the book. So I'm sending you guys with peace, love, and blessings. So with that, we're going to take a quick break. And then when we get back, guys, we're going to deep dive. We're going to deep dive into our amazing interview, and yeah, we'll be back. Let's take a quick positive cause just to shout out our homegirls, Kemba and Andrea from Keen Real Estate Group. Whenever you're thinking real estate, whenever you're thinking investments, whenever you're thinking about planning for the long term, think Keen Real Estate Group. They're generating wealth for generations. KeenGroup.ca. If your goal is to purchase a car and to make the process as simple as possible, just get a car broker, guys. You just get a car broker. Big shout out to our homeboy, Hamsdale Jacques, the owner of hjcourtierauto.com. That's HJCOURTIERAUTO.com. If you're a small to medium-sized business and you're getting started and you're ready to go to that next level, what do you need? You need a phone line and you need a website. Think Mainstream Digicom. They got all your telecommunication needs checked. MainstreamDigicom.com. You're trying to get out on the web. You're trying to understand how to navigate through ads. Check out Java Logics for all your marketing, your digital marketing. Where would we be without Preston? I don't even know. Check out Java Logics. I give thanks to Preston for what he's done for the OFC. The amount of positive reviews we've gotten from all his referrals, we're proud to stand behind his work. Check out javalogics.com. No, it's not just because he's my brother. It's because you can't talk hip-hop in Montreal without saying M City Solo. Guys, check out his latest project, In My Fields, available on mcitysolo.com. If it's not one of the hardest new EPs to hit Montreal, come and let me know. You already know. It's your boy, Pharaoh, bigging up, mcitysolo.com. Keeping the culture alive. I gotta give thanks to West Can Folk Performing Company. For the last 40 years plus, they've been promoting our culture through song, drum, and dance, educating youth, the children, the seniors. Just check them out, westcanfolk.com.
Girl, what are you cooking?
My curry chicken.
Ooh, you're burning it.
Oh, gosh, it looks so...
It's okay, girl. You need the Curry House. They have the best Caribbean food in town. 2 locations in Montreal, West Island, and Côte-Neige. For more information, follow Caribbean Curry House, MTL. Don't forget to mention the Empower Hour for your 10% discount.
So, who placed in the order?
Me.
DeVito, WizKid, Burna Boy. Those are just some of the big names that's blessed Montreal thanks to Afrobeats Montreal. Definitely check out Afrobeats MTL for all concerts, show listings, everything that has to do with Afrobeats in the city. Check out Afrobeats MTL. One full circle. We are the Melanated Community Resource Hub and Network. What does that mean? We're here for each other.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people. Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people.
Parlay with the people, y'all.
And we are back, people. So as you guys know, like we've been talking about, this month we are talking business. We're talking entrepreneurship. We're talking about planning. And I think the guest that we have on right now is perfect for this topic, for this conversation. She's an entrepreneur and she's all about planning for the future. So with no further ado, I want to introduce our sister, Andrea Cox. Welcome to the Empower Hour, sister. Claps, claps,
Thank
claps,
you.
claps, claps, claps. I know every week I say that we need to get sound effects plugged into here. It just doesn't happen. We'll see. Maybe
That's all right.
maybe come next one. So we're really glad to have you on the Empower Hour with us. So thank you so much. And you're joining us out of Alberta. Just so our listeners know. Okay, so you guys know the OFC, we're global, guys. We are global. It's not just within Quebec or Ontario. It's just all over the world. Talk about it. So, Andrea, so like just to give you a little context, so this is where we deep dive with our entrepreneurs within the community. Okay, so and the segment you're on with us right now is the what we call the business zone. And again, it is where we feature and highlight entrepreneurs in the community and just highlight their excellence. So, but before we dive into the business, I would like to give you an opportunity just to introduce yourself, just so the listeners can get an idea of who you are.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Andrea Cox, born and raised in Calgary, Alberta. My parents are actually both from Jamaica. So I tell people that I'm Jamaican. So that is, I have a twin brother, I have an older sister, and yeah, so pretty much I am a super auntie. I'm a, as I mentioned, daughter, twin sister. And yeah, what do I enjoy doing? If I think about, I like organizing, and it's interesting. I was volunteering with an organization, Sharon Long. I was on with that organization for quite some time, helping with the music part of the organization, organize, gospel
That's the Seventh-day Adventist Church? Is that it? That
exactly.
church she works with? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And, organizing our gospel nights and helping to organizing our business extravaganza in our community. So I've always liked planning, and it just so happened, I was doing HR for years. I was doing staffing for years, and I ended up working with a unionized insurance company. And I was going to union members' homes to explain to them their options for permanent benefits, which was a funeral coverage. So that's where I started off, first off, with what I did. And, I would go to homes explaining to them why they need this coverage. And, I met this one guy who straight up told me that he does not need a funeral coverage because he's not going to die. And he was so confident. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
And, I would go to homes asking questions on do you have a will and these kind of stuff. And a lot of people said no. And I didn't have a will either at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I met with this one couple, very young couple, and they told me that they do have a will. And I thought it was a bit weird.
Right.
And they told me that they had the wills because one of their close friends actually died from domestic violence.
Oh.
And when they went to the funeral, the children were there with their with social services. And, the more as you're out there talking with people, I realize that, oh my goodness, we're missing something, especially in our community, right? We don't understand this importance of protecting ourselves, protecting our families. And that's pretty much where it all started.
Wow.
So,
That
yeah.
is huge. And, I wanted to ask, I'm not sure if it's rude or not, but did the person who said he's not going to die, is he still alive?
I don't know.
Okay, let's hope he is. Okay, good. I thought you were going to say.
I was waiting for the punchline too. I was gonna say. I was like, I thought Andrew was gonna say, and then I was like, psych. I was like, oh God.
I was like, okay. No, I really thought you were gonna say, and he died next week. Can you believe that? Okay, so anyway, so no. So good.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I was always going to different homes. I don't know and this is the thing about it, right? That as you're out in the community, you're trying to educate and tell people. And your nightmare is if someone does die and they don't have it, right? And what you say to the family. Do you know what I mean? So that's when I realized I really need to more tailor to my community specifically, just because we know when someone passes away in our own community, right? And it's like, you guys, I'm sorry, I tried. Like, mom and dad doesn't have a will. They don't have insurance. And you're just hearing the stories and you're watching all the mess, right in front of your face thinking we tried, right?
Yeah.
So as we know, this topic is very taboo. We don't want to talk about it. Our community is very reactive as opposed to proactive, right? So it's just about educating.
No, and I honestly, if you ask me my personal opinion, first of all, I'm a master conspiracy theorist, just so everybody, all our listeners know that already. I have conspiracies for everything. But I really do feel we are miseducated on purpose, because when you understand the wealth that you could accumulate by just planning ahead, like every other culture and community, like they're insuring their children like days old, like they're 15, 20 days old. They're giving them whole life insurance policies. There's people investing in their life insurance, using that money, using the interest that the life insurance, like there's tons of financial benefits. But we've been conditioned that, oh, no, we don't talk about these kind of things in our community. Why? why don't we talk about when every other community has wills, has insurance, has different things? We're like, no, we're not going to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it today.
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. So let's go into the business. So you are a licensed prepaid planning specialist based in Alberta, and you also serve BC as well.
Mm-hmm,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, that means that you sell prepaid funeral packages. Is that how?
Yeah. So I partner with quite a few different funeral homes in Alberta and in BC, and we do the prepaid funeral packages. Mm-hmm. So the difference, I know people are probably wondering, well, what is that? How does that work, right? So, we have insurance, which is great, and this is another insurance vehicle. And what ends up happening is that when you go to a funeral home in northern, pretty much world, let's say North America. Yeah. To be safe. Yeah. Let's say North America. And about 95% of the funeral homes actually work with an insurance company. And what ends up happening is that when someone goes, you can go into the funeral home, choose your casket, choose your urn, choose whatever you want, and get your package. And you're actually able to lock in today's dollars. So we actually do paperwork for the funeral home, and we do paperwork for the insurance company. So that product and that package is insured. So, you have an option of doing a 3-year plan, 5-year plan, 3, 5, 15, and 20 are the plans. I want to say 10 as well. And so what ends up happening is, say, for instance, you take out a 5-year plan and something happens within 3 years, and it covers everything. So what happens is that they pay the funeral home within 1 to 2 business days, as opposed to paying your beneficiary, who will then pay the funeral home. Now, there's times that we have our beneficiaries who don't want to pay the funeral home, and someone else is left with that bill, right? We hear stories of that. Let's be real. We have, our children or whoever on the policy, and they decide that they don't want to pay the funeral home. Might it be that someone forgot to change the beneficiary? Do you know what I mean? There's like different reasons as to why that can happen. Wow. So at the end of the day, they pay the funeral home directly. So the contract is between the individual and the funeral home and the insurance company. Okay, so hold on. Let me make sure I'm understanding this carefully, because this is good stuff. And I just want to make sure it's clear. So now we get this insurance package. It's not an insurance package. We prepay for our funeral arrangements, right? Mm-hmm. Now, and let's pick a term, like you said, like a 5-year term. Something happens within that 3 years. Now, and when you say 5-year term, that means we're paying every month type of thing. Yeah, for the thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now let's just use the number of 10,000, right? Let's say it's going to cost everything's going to cost you 10,000 for your funeral. Now let's say over that 3 years, I've only paid, I don't know, 4,000. Now, are you saying that this is where the insurance company kicks in and pays out balance? That's 6,000. It pays out everything. Correct. Yes. So like the underwriting, it's just like an insurance company. It's just an insurance policy, right? We have life insurance, and when we pass away, it pays it out. It's the same idea. Okay. Right? It's the same idea. But it's not like a whole life policy that you pay every month for the rest of your life. You choose your payment. Obviously, it has interest and stuff, and then it's there. So, I guess one of the disadvantages of doing this is that it's not a disadvantage. One of the cons, I would say, is you're paying more for this service as opposed to having just a blanket whole life policy or a blanket term policy. Okay. Right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the peace of mind is there. And what I mean by that is when a loved one passes away, let's say in the hospital, and they're going to ask the family, which funeral home do you want to take care of your loved one? So that's already done. Right. Not only that, they go into the funeral home, and your family doesn't have to go into the showroom. They don't have to go make those decisions because that's already done. Right. So it's that peace of mind because everything is done. So it's less work, it's less stress, it's less responsibilities, less options that's left on your family because you've done everything for them. So as opposed to them having to go through that whole process, they don't have to go through that. They're more just now grieving, and they can, it's almost like a better experience, knowing that, oh my goodness, mom did all of this for me. Do you know what I mean? Or for us.
Yeah.
So there's just a difference as opposed to nothing being in place, as opposed to most things has been fully taken care of.
I love this. So now I'm going to throw you a curveball right now. Kaya, I don't know if you've been thinking about this, like in terms of what your plans are going to be, if you want to be cremated, buried, or that whole nine. I personally want to be, what's it called? I want to become a base for a plant. I want my body to be like those things that looks like a for our listeners can't see this, but I'm
like
putting my
roots?
hands together like a bulb. Yes. Have you seen that? Where I could actually they take my body, put it into like this thing, and then they plant a tree with it.
Kind of like compost. It's kind of like a big.
It's kind of but it's a thing that exists. Like I googled it just to check. Anyways, while we're talking
now, is that in Canada? Is that in Montreal?
It's in Canada. I don't know if it's just it exists. If you check and see. Okay, so now the fact that you asked me this question, I mean you haven't heard of it. So it's a new way of, because first of all, if it's not that, I just want to be cremated. But I like the idea of becoming a tree. So then basically they just take my body, put it in this thing, and then they plant it, and it's like they plant it with the top of a tree. And then like I become part of the roots of the tree, and I grow out in the tree. Dopeness.
I have heard about it. I didn't realize that was an option here in Canada. So I've heard of green burial, which means that you'll bury, but it's more going to be with material that, it's it composes okay inside the natural earth, right? I've heard of that. Mm-hmm. I've heard of funeral homes that do the tree planting, but that just means that they plant the tree and they have like a sign or something that has your name in that memorializes you. I've heard of that. And I've heard of what you're saying, but I didn't realize it was here in Canada.
Okay, so maybe I should double check my facts, but I do know it's okay. So I just Googled it. Biodegradable burial pod. That's what I want to be.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I just didn't realize that because I haven't offered that package at all. So, but I've heard of the green burial. There's green burial and there's another one as well that is a different kind of as I check out my book, but there's another kind of a cremation that's more with water, and that is in specific provinces in Canada. And I don't believe Quebec is one of them. And I don't believe, Alberta and Quebec is not on that list, but it's like an alkaline.
Quebec, let's just say probably nothing works in Quebec. Let's just say that, I'm sorry, Quebecers, you guys know how Quebec likes to be backwards on everything. So if that's the case, and if pods are available in Ontario, my family's going to come see me across the Ontario border. What happened, guys?
Backwards and self-righteous. I'm just going to say that. I just want to say that.
Thank you, Kai. No, I appreciate you. I appreciate just clarifying and confirming that. That's good. So anyways, sorry, we've gone off topic. Well, no, we're still on topic.
We're on topic because I actually was going to say, I need some information. I would love to have a consultation with you because I'm thinking about that now. I feel like I'm my father and my mother's riskiest child. And I feel like I need insurance. And for me, no fancy funerals required. I really just cremate me and that's it. Have a party. So so what happens for those people that just want a cremation, that don't want to have the whole ceremony, the whole everything? Do you offer that?
Well, the thing about it is that I think what we also need to realize that when one passes away, it's not about the person who died, it's about those who are left behind, right? So although you want a cremation, there still should be a celebration of life or something to honor you, to remember you. But it's also to keep in mind that although we want to do cremation, we need to also inform our family what should they do with our ashes. So a lot of us will choose that option that we want to be cremated, and then we need to ask the question, then what? Because as families, some of them are too scared to even go to the funeral home to get the ashes. Like just that burden of going to the funeral home to get the ashes. What am I supposed to do with this? Where do I put it? Right. So, and then, you know what I mean? So we need to go further than just, and there's different options for cremation. And this is where
I love this.
The book comes in, because there's a lot of, you guys, the thing about it is that we plan our birthdays, we plan our weddings. Our weddings can take 6 months to a year to plan. We plan the anniversary. We do so much planning, but when it comes to a death, it is so instant and it's left for your loved ones to kind of figure out during the most devastating time of their life. Even if you ask them what's their first name, they don't remember, because that is how much that's what death does to us. It literally, it knocks us off of our feet, right?
Sure.
So
sorry, in our community, we also have, it's a thing, right? Because they say that you're kind of calling death on yourself if you go and get insurance and stuff. So let me ask you, how do you instill the value into the people who are old school Caribbean that say, no, man, I'm not call death onto my life. I'm not call death, so I'm not get insurance. How do you counter that?
Do you know what, you guys? This is where we have to come in and be the example. So what we do is we get our coverage, and then we let our parents know that, you know what, something happens to me, I have X, Y, Z, and it's going to be taken care of. And some people will say, well, I'm dead, so who cares? And it's like, you know what, I don't want you to go through losing a loved one, because once you go through that experience, you do not want to put that on somebody else, right? So I think it's an education piece, and even us having these conversations with those who have lost a loved one, because we don't know what we don't know, right? And this is why we just need to have these conversations, because it's night and day when there is a plan in place as opposed to when there is nothing in place.
So, and I think this is a good segue, because I feel that you do have a very good starter tool to break the ice, to have this conversation. So we didn't mention this at the beginning, but you are also an author.
Yes.
And you have an amazing book called Final Departure, a step-by-step guide to preparing for one's passing. Amazing, amazing. Kudos to you on this exceptional book. Right off the top, I'm going to tell everybody, first of all, again, like we said, death, everybody's going to transcend, guys. It's a guarantee. If you're not sure how to broach a conversation, you're not sure what to do, how to do, just start with this book. Maybe even get the book and give it to somebody as a gift. It might be a weird gift. Like, what are you trying to tell me? But no, it's just, we want you to be prepared. We want you to plan ahead, because I really think this is what it is. So can you talk a little bit more about the inspiration behind the book and what people could expect?
Yeah, for sure. So the book pretty much came about because, I'm out there trying to educate us that we're going to die. We don't want to hear it.
Right.
Because as far as we're concerned, we're not going to die. Right. So, and if we die, or if we talk about it, we're going to die. And you know what? It has got us nowhere. Yes. And even when it comes to our grief journey, it gets us nowhere, right? So the more we talk about it and normalize this discussion, when we think about those who have mental illness, like now it's out there, we have mental illness days. Now, even if you're at work, you could take a mental illness day because they understand the importance. Yeah. This is the same thing with death. This is something that we can't, the stats is 1 out of 1, let's be real. And, doing the work I've done for, oh my gosh, we're going on almost 7 years. I realized that something had to give. So there's that saying that says that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Yeah. The book was a different result because, I've learned so much over the last 6 to 7 years that I had to get it in a book so that people can just get this information. When I did my training, that's what pretty much kept me so long, because I was learning so much and I'm like, people don't know this information. And when we know this stuff in advance and we plan in advance, our family will have a much different experience when a loved one passes away. When we think about our parents, they did this whole, losing a loved one, and they don't talk about that person. It's just completely ignored. And somehow their generation was able to deal with it. I don't know how they did it, but they did. But now we're dealing with, I don't know about in Quebec, guys, but I know here in Alberta and in Calgary, our suicide rate is getting ridiculous. Yeah. So at the end of the day, if we were not taught how to grieve, we don't know how to grieve. There's so much things that we just do not know because it was not taught in our homes. It's not taught in schools. Why do we not talk about this even in schools? It's not anywhere. So now we're growing up, and as I said, our parents was able to deal with it as best as they could, but it still falls on the children. So now we're having a generation that is now, it's knocking us down as we're getting younger, because now we're having kids and stuff who's now committing suicide for whatever reason it may be. Some of it could be that, it could be of losing a loved one. And, suicide, losing a loved one is one thing, but losing a loved one to suicide is even worse, because death and now suicide, and we're not getting the support we need to deal with that. So now we have a whole group that is grieving, don't know how to grieve. And I know in the States, you have generations of suicide. Because now we are using that as, you know what I mean? And we just need to talk about this and normalize it. It is okay to not be okay. And we need to explain that to people. Don't try to put this front up. It's okay if you're going to cry. You know what I mean? But we love to do this thing when someone dies, be strong. Be strong for who?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? We just need the support with these grief counselors, with these grief coaches, and we need the support of just talking about death, because we need to discuss it. We need to talk about it. It's normal. We ignoring it is not helping, and our families are having a horrible experience. A loved one passes away. And that's another thing, is that the reason for this book is to be a resource. Because at the end of the day, if our family does not have their affairs in order, it falls on those who are left behind.
And it's amazing that you're saying that, because even when Kaya had asked the question, like, how do you educate people, especially like some of our West Indian parents who are those superstitious, I think if we framed it a little differently, where we show them that it's almost being selfish to not plan ahead. It's like is that what you're saying, that you want somebody else to have to deal with that? Like you don't want to. And right. I guess if you come from more of an emotional standpoint, get the superstition out of it, but just really, like, is that what you want for your daughter or your grandchild? Like, for them to have to take care of your affairs? I think it is better that you look at it from that perspective. So so that's it. You don't want to leave that for somebody else to do.
Yeah, I say when I was younger, not understanding much about death at all, just understanding the loss. And I experienced a lot of death as a child in my family. So it was always like a thought, And I used to say to myself, well, when I die, I ain't worried about nothing. Because the ambulance bills that I called and ran up and stuff like that, my kids gonna pay it. My family gonna pay it when I die. And then I thought about it, and I was like, wow. No, that's crazy.
Right,
my grandma, and the bills that she had left behind, my mom's siblings pretty much didn't want to pay the funeral. And I can remember one day her going to the funeral home for someone else's funeral and them saying, hey, you never finished paying for Madame Ward's funeral. And she's like, my sister was responsible for the other portion. I paid the majority of it. They said, well, they never came and paid it. And her siblings were the only ones who collected money off of their mother's death. They actually took paperwork and went and got monies and stuff like that, and never helped pay the funeral. So my mother was actually left to pay the funeral on her own. So I can remember going to the funeral home, and I want to say his name was Alain. Mm-hmm. And he calls mommy in the back and he says, and so we had to end up going back, getting some money and going back and paying the man.
Wow.
Arlen Bonner, that's what his name was. Arlen Bonner. That was from Farron's down here. But that is something that we think about, because your family will just be like, yeah, well, they're gone now, son.
Wow. No,
and that's the thing, is that I believe that there were times that funeral homes would, and some funeral homes still do this. Like one of the funeral homes that I work with here now, you're supposed to pay the bill before they actually do the service. And we can understand why they do that, because it's a business, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't go to Superstore and get the stuff and walk out before paying for it. It's the exact same thing,
same
right?
Concept, yeah.
So it's the same concept. So, you would hear lots of stories like what Kaya is saying, that, there's still this bill for this, the beneficiaries, they got their money, they're gone. And then whoever is left with this bill. And It happens more often than people would ever imagine.
So now, because what I would like Because first of all, just listening to you speak is really it's motivating, and I do feel like more people need to hear this. Do you do workshops and stuff as well? Like if let's say because we have a whole collective, obviously, within the OSC that could benefit from this information. We're now doing a lot of financial literacy and educating the community on getting insurance and investing. But from this perspective, I don't know if this is something you do. Is it do you do these type of workshops, virtual workshops, or you present for groups?
Yes. So, and we were doing a lot of this before I wrote the book, but now we're working on a different workshop, which is pretty much done, but I have been using it. My second one's going to be the end of this month. But yeah, we do workshops. I used to do workshops on a monthly basis during COVID. Okay. And then since I was working on the book, that's kind of gone down. But, as of this summer, it'll be something regular because we will be going to organizations, more churches and stuff, because the goal is that people will get the book, they'll read through it, and they'll fill out the workbook. So there's a workbook at the back. So what ends up happening is that when someone passes away, the family has the workbook as their resource, as their guide. When they can't think straight, they don't even know what is what, the guide. So like even the workbook, the order of the workbook is the order that your family is going to need things as things happens. At the back of the book, it even has what to do the first 24 hours, what to say and what not to say to someone who's grieving, what to say to someone who's dying. There is so much information in this book. If we can just get our hands on it and just talk more, I'm telling you, we would be in a better position as a community. We all need these insurance products to protect our families when we're no longer here. Understanding the difference of term insurance, whole insurance, term being more of a paycheck protection, because when we are gone, our family doesn't have that paycheck no more. So we need that kind of protection. We need a protection to pay for our funeral bill at the end. Having our wills done, our living wills done. All of this is part of when we pass away, if we want our organs to be donated or our body donated. Like there's so much information in this book. I could go on. You have the table of contents there. You know what I mean? There's just so much information. And it's just, I think the biggest thing is that we just need to realize is that if our parents, if our siblings, if our aunts and uncles, whoever doesn't have it sorted out, it's going to fall on us. So we might as well have the conversations and ensure that I have a twin brother and I've been paying his insurance premiums for a long time because I got it that if something happens to my parents, he has 2 children, right? And I got it. And I was with my ex and I paid his insurance even when we were separated for how many years? Mm-hmm. It's only recently I said enough is enough. We are now, divorced. Like, why am I paying it? And it wasn't so much because I wanted the money. It's more that if anything happens to him, I know his parents are in another part in Canada. His children are in a different city in Alberta. And, everyone knows Andrea does this stuff. Mm. Who am I to say I'm not going to help? Right. But there needs to be money. So I was protecting myself because I was, wife at that time. Right. Yeah. And I was protecting his children so that they have something. Mm. And this is where I'm at the point that it's like, is it better for us to pay our own premiums or pay the premiums for those who are around us? Because it's going to affect us. Well, so if we can work, together to understand, I would speak with seniors who they had a term policy, it's no more. Or they used to work and they retired and they don't have those benefits. So now they're starting up all over again to get but now they have a set income. Where's this money coming from? Now I'm having conversations with their children to help mom with her premiums, because if they don't help mom, you're going to get the bill. Exactly. So it's almost that you just kind of work together as a family to make sure everybody around you is protected, because it's going to fall on us anyways.
Sister, man, you are dropping huge gems. I have to say, as I've been thumbing through the book like this, it's an exceptional book, a great read. I even like the fact that the font is big. It's you guys might laugh at that, but no, especially if it's a book that you want to give to seniors, you want to give it to people that you don't want them squinting to try to read. This is it's an awesome tool, and I definitely want to encourage everybody to get it. So let's plug the book where people could get it, because I think that should be our first call to action, our first thing to do. But actually, even before we do that, because you just said something, and it reminded me. It's a conversation I recently had with my siblings about my mom. A similar situation where her term insurance just recently ran out, And now it's like, okay, what are we going to do? Now that she's older, obviously, it's not, it's more expensive to insure her, but it's a bill that the three of us in terms of siblings are going to be able to take on, so it's something that, again, like people are, anybody who's listening to us right now, please take heed. Please start having these conversations with mom, dad, granny, grandpa. If you can, if you have to, be the person to cover the cost of the insurance, because like Andrea was saying, it's either you pay it up front or you pay it behind. But at least if you pay it up front, then more than likely you'll have more than enough to cover. Right. And whatever be the case, where instead of scraping around trying to cover the bills. Right. So, okay, yes. So how do people buy the book?
Get the book.
Yes. Where is the book available? And can I plug now that there's a special promo that people could benefit from?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So the book is on Amazon. Mm-hmm. It's on all Amazon platforms. There is a sale right now in Alberta. We had Seniors Week last week. So the book is on 25% off. That's supposed to stop as of last week, Sunday. But you know what? We're on the show. We're promoting the book. We're going to keep that on until next. When are we keeping it on until?
I guess so. So we're talking the end. So as you guys are listening to this right now, you have until this coming Sunday. That's right. It. Take advantage, guys. This is something. Buy a couple of copies. The price is going to go up, and you're going to want to give these out to a couple of different people.
That's right. If you have some ignorant cousins, never know what to say, and they always saying weird stuff at the funeral. Ma, your father wasn't no good nowhere. What are you crying for? Well, he did steal money from me before getting money back. And then they'd be like, Olia, hush, because you know what type of person he was. He used to beat up everybody in the house.
Oh, my God.
And his son is doing the same thing. So give the book to everybody so that they know how to talk to you, how they know how to function. Because as Black folks, we do have a hard time with death, and we don't be known what to say. Yeah. So,
I'm going to read some extras right now. So what to say is, I am sorry for your loss. That is a good thing to say. What not to say, at least he or she lived a long life. Many die young. Don't say stuff like that. That's not a nice thing to say. There is a reason for everything. That's also not a nice thing to say. And actually, I'm glad I'm reading that. I might have said that in the past a couple of times.
Well, we all say it because guess what? We've learned that from the older. You know what I mean? It comes from somewhere and it lands on us, and we just say things. One of the ones is be strong. You know what I mean? Be strong for who?
Hey, no,
you
so
just
crazy.
Lost your loved one.
I have to read this one. Aren't you over him? Aren't you over him or her yet? Damn, she's been dead for a while now. That is so harsh. Lord have mercy. Anyways, but again, there's gems in here. I'm really looking forward to just finishing going through everything in this book, and I will share it. Encourage people to read it. I'm showing it on the screen right now for people. Oh wait, you can't actually. Yes, you can. You can't. Anyways, I'll share it on our screen so everybody can see it. Final departure. So Google final departure now. And how do people get in contact with you if they want to find out more information? Yes, you are licensed, like we said, in Alberta and BC. So like I said, we do have followers and listeners from all over Canada, all over the world. So people will reach out to you to ask questions. How do they reach you?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. And at the end of the day, what I do is I actually help people because, there's a workbook at the back. And another reason why I now do this other coaching services, which is all on my website, the services that we do offer. In most cases, it's the husband who will say that, no, we don't need insurance. No, we don't need this. No, we don't need that. Because I don't know. I think it's fear. I'm going to say it's fear. Okay. But at the end of the day, we're not protecting our wives. So what ends up happening is that when I was doing webinars or seminars, the wives would come to these seminars and the husbands wouldn't come. And then they go home to the husband to say X, Y, Z, and the husband just kind of, we don't need it. And the thing about it is that reality is who dies first? The husband.
Yeah.
The husband. And now we put all of our faith. We put all of our faith and trust in the husband. He has everything. He's done everything. And now they're gone. Where does that leave us, right? So the back of the book has has a workbook that covers mostly everything. So if and when something happens, the family has something to go by. But at the end of the day, as you're writing things down, it's taking that load off of our heads. There's so much stuff that's up here that we need our families to know when we're gone. Do you know what I mean? So, and it's things like this that also causes a lot of the family breakdowns because they can't find things or they find out things. The list kind of goes on. So the book, you know, because I don't want it. Go ahead.
Or we know that you'll let things that are important to them go. So it's important to have those things, and you want to be able to also obey the dead's wishes. You don't want to respect them in death. It's very important. I think about that all the time when I see people sell their family's properties and do different things. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are you thinking about? Your parents worked so hard for those things. Was there no will? But I think that we automatically think, like, if I work so hard for this and I gave it to my family, they're going to keep it. We don't want to have those situations. We want our longevity we want our family stuff to have longevity. So we, you know, that's important. We gotta really, as a people, we gotta get this insurance stuff down packed. We gotta make our preparations. You are such a smart woman. I thank you so much for coming on and telling us this and writing this book. We need this. We really do. We don't even understand. I didn't even really understand how deep this was until you start talking. I'm like, oh my God.
Yep.
It's
Go ahead, sister.
No, sorry. I was just saying that it's shivering just thinking about it, that there's a lot of the families that go through things that could have been avoided if the conversations were had.
That's it.
And it's all about the conversations. It really is. And it just causes so much problems. And, you know, in the book, you know what, there's even a section on writing a letter to your loved one.
Oh, wow.
You know, we could even go into those family secrets that we keep and it comes out after. You know, do I need to write a letter to my loved one that if something happens to me, I could explain at that point my why I didn't get a chance to tell them. Do you know what I mean? Because that's going to help them through their grief process. All of these things helps us through our grief process. So as I said, there's a lot of information in the back of the book that we need to write down stuff. It's to help to preserve our legacy. You know, our legacy is so huge. How do you want to be remembered when you are no longer here? What do you want to leave behind, right? And it's all about our legacy in the long run. We don't work all these years. And, you know, sometimes family members have to sell stuff because they can't afford it. If we pass away and we have been paying that mortgage every single month, there's an opportunity that our family will be out of the house. Where's this money coming from? Do you know what I mean? And there's so much to this, you guys. It's just really sad that out of all of these years, for something that happens, that's going to happen, we do not have a plan in place to protect our families.
And it's literally, I'm sorry to say it like this, but I feel it's really our community that doesn't plan. Like it just so happens a lot of people I do business with, whether it be from Chinese or Asian community, I should say, Jewish, just like, I just feel everybody I know, it's not a taboo thing for them. It's like they go to funerals, it's like, everybody has insurance for the most part, but yet we are the ones, unfortunately, that are killed unexpectedly a lot, are going through these things, and we're the ones who are GoFundMe left, right, and center, and it's super whack. So again, it is awesome what you're doing. I know you gave me food for thought. I'm going to tell my children right now that if I cannot get into a pod and they have to cremate me, I want each one of them to have to bring some of me home. That is what I'm telling all of them. I want little urns for everybody. Yes. I'm saying with everybody.
That's an option.
Equally, you have to haunt them equally.
Exactly.
I want a piece of everybody's house. And you know what? On that thought, you know, my grandmother was kind of like that kind of lady, but she never made provisions. And maybe because she felt like she didn't have enough money to go around later, but she didn't think about the insurance part. But she used to say all this all the time. If you guys don't obey my wishes, I'm going to come back and tickle your toes. So everything that she said do, we tried to do. We really did. That's something that's really real. So you know what? So crazy just thinking about it now. My father actually said that he's going to donate his body to science. So we're not even going to see him when they come and pick him up. We ain't gonna see him no more. Wow. I said, the nerve with you.
Yeah.
But he's planning. You see? I know. It's just an example.
That was the way of making no plans, though, because we like, you gotta. I don't need no real science coming to get me. What? We couldn't believe he did that. And
Are
he
they
really,
leaving a check?
That
He
was
signed
like-
it?
it's on the
Really?
back of the license.
Okay, so he really did that. Is he getting a check from it? Anyways, that's not the point.
That's what I
not,
said. What the big
right? It was kind. Oh, no check. Andrew shaking her head. No, science does not give you a donation for your body. They should at least give you a donation. Damn, science does not give a shit. So look, so this has been awesome. So now, when we close up these meetings, we like to put our guests on the spot and ask for some words. This is the Empower Hour. So we do like, we'd like to know if you have any empowering words, any uplifting words, encouraging words for our listeners you'd like to leave us with.
Yeah, there's a few of them. I have some quotes here on the legacy side because I think it's all about our legacy, right? So the legacy is our legacy is the ultimate person we want to become. So it starts today, because if something happens to us tomorrow, our legacy is gone. So this is why we need to think about this in advance. And overall, our goal isn't to live forever. The goal is to create something that will.
Oh, snap, snap, snap. I like that. Snap, 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 snap. Andrea, it's been awesome having you on the OFC, not the OFC. Yeah, well, this is the OFC show, but it is the Empower, it is the business zone. That's why I said that. Yeah, because it's the OFC business zone on the Empower Hour. I was like, I feel like I'm mixing all up. But anyways, it is awesome to have you on here with us. It's awesome to have you as a member of the community. Honestly, what you're doing is exceptional. The seeds that you planted here, I hope our listeners took it in, are taking heed to it, and at the very least that they're going to purchase your book and just provide you all kind of reviews. There's exceptional reviews we forgot to mention, but you have exceptional reviews on the book so far. And I just want to continue just to wish you amazing success in everything you're doing, because what you're doing is very, very necessary.
Kings and Queens, this was the Empower Hour with Pharaoh Freeman, Queen Kaya, and Gina the Great. We are on live every Sunday from 7 to 9 p.m. and broadcasting Thursday mornings at 7 a.m. on CKUT 90.3 FM. Hopefully you got your dose of entertainment, enlightenment, and empowerment. Subscribe and watch us on empowermtl.com and email us at empowermtl@gmail.com to anonymously be featured on our What's the Tea Mail segment. Stay blessed, black, and highly favored.